Yo, what's up? It's Yarumi. So this is part 7 of the video series that I'm doing covering the guide to no-code marketplaces. So this is assuming that you've downloaded and checked out the guide to no-code marketplaces. If you haven't, I'm screen sharing it right here. It's guides.everythingmarketplaces.com. It's free. All you have to do is enter your email and then you'll have access to the digital download. But basically, it's everything you need to know about building, launching, and scaling an online marketplace using no-code. So we'll just jump back over here to the guide and kind of get into it. But we're on page 24 of the guide, and this is part 7. And I created part 7 because there's a lot that's shared in the no-code space about how to build an initial MVP, or how to build, say, for instance, like a marketplace using no-code. There's not a lot of information shared on how to actually operate it, and insights from those that are operating, no-code marketplaces that are actually at some sense of scale and generating revenue. So with that said, I thought it would be helpful to add a section to the guide where I would just interview some founders of other no-code marketplaces that are at some sense of scale, generating revenue, and definitely on track to continually scale. So we'll jump into this first interview, which it's pretty funny. So that's actually me. So I interviewed myself. So if you're new to the channel, I built and launched Studio Time, which has been called like the Airbnb of music studios. But basically, I was able to leverage ShareTribe Go. This is a kind of quick summary of this first section. But I was able to build the initial MVP using ShareTribe Go in an evening, completely no code. Use some kind of custom landing pages, like a custom homepage, why join page, subscription page. Launch it and able to generate quite a bit of revenue very quickly. And fast forward to today, and it's actually the largest online marketplace for music studios in the world. So we have thousands of music studios all over the world in 35 different countries. It continues to run on a little bit more low code. So our tool stack today is ShareTribe Flex, Twilio, Chargebee, Instapage, and Stripe. I'll screen share in a second and do a quick kind of like walk through that. But also too, you might be wondering, how much does it cost to run a marketplace like Studio Time? So in the early days when we were built on ShareTribe Go, custom landing pages and some other kind of no-code tools, all of our costs were a little bit under $500 a month to run. And I do want to mention that we were able to generate quite a bit of revenue on that build, which we were on for probably about 2.5 years before we switched to Flex. Today, it's a little bit under $1,000 a month. So, our costs have increased just because we are at some sense of scale. I do also want to mention that, any kind of like custom development it's not the actual kind of like market, I guess you could say, rate for that. I do have a team with ThinkBox of designers and developers because we do ShareTribe builds for others as far as on a project basis. So I do have some kind of like shared resources there and the benefit of being able to use them for Studio Time. So just want to mention that. So we'll jump into just kind of screen sharing Studio Time, just do like a brief walkthrough. So we're on the homepage right here. You can see studiotime.io. So it's fairly straightforward, kind of looks like an Airbnb for music studios, which is pretty much what it is. We'll just kind of go down here. We'll just see right here. So we'll just go up and we'll click on one of the listings. That way you can see what an actual listing looks like. So we'll click on this Hostile Takeover Studios right here. This is like one of our premium verified studios. And then you can kind of see the listings right here. We also have like basically add-ons for some of our bookings. So we have like included or not included services that you can kind of add on. Obviously you can't add that, but you can see just an example of this listing right here. So you might be wondering, what are those tools that we use? How are they integrated and what do we use them for? So Twilio is used for the account. Over here, the user account, we do SMS verification. So we require all users to verify their phone number before submitting a booking request. If we go down here in the footer, we'll click on the studio fees. So we are also a subscription-based marketplace. So we require studios to have a subscription in order to have a listing. So right here is the subscription options. They have the basic or premium. So as you saw, the listing that I shared was a premium. But when they click on these buttons to select a subscription, that page is redirected to a Chargebee hosted page. So we leverage Chargebee for subscription kind of functionality and management. And then, of course, that integrates with Stripe for subscription payments. So by using that, we're able to take advantage of a kind of third-party tool or platform that makes it easy for us to basically account for subscription functionality and all the operational requirements we'll need for that using a no-code platform for that, or tool or platform. So that's a brief kind of like walkthrough of Studio Time. So now let's jump into another marketplace. And this is going to be another ShareTribe Flex marketplace. So this is the Shoot. So the Shoot is like an Airbnb for music studios. They kind of have a similar tool stack. They use ShareTribe Flex, Stripe, which of course Studio Time uses too. They use Relevance which is basically like a no-code kind of like, you can think of like tool that's like an algorithm for surfacing the best search results for listings. They use Twilio also for SMS verifications. Chargebee also, and Unbounce. So quick kind of like summary on how they were able to leverage no-code. So they were able to go from the literally from idea stage to live and launch marketplace in 4 weeks for around $4,500. So that was that's a huge I would say that's a huge benefit in using ShareTribe Flex and having the level of kind of custom marketplace that they have versus having to build like a fully custom platform from scratch. So this is another kind of like a little bit more low code example of a marketplace, but a very well designed one. You might be wondering about how much does it cost to run it. So it's about $1,300 a month. And that includes not only all the hosting, but even some kind of customizations and, ongoing kind of development support, then also tools and platforms that they have for all of their subscription, for their tool stack. So this is another very lean marketplace. I'll screen share with you right here. We can check out the live site. So once again, this is a ShareTribe Flex marketplace. Some custom development, but this is it's very well designed. So we'll just go down the home page so you can kind of get a quick kind of look at it. And then we'll click on one of the listings so that way we can kind of see it. So we'll click on London photographers, and then you can go down here. You can see the search results. And of course, the order of that is kind of, they use Relevance to kind of sort those. And then we'll click on this individual listing. So you can see they have a little bit different as far as their image layout. This is very visually well designed, of course, because it is a marketplace for photographers. You can see it does have some similarities to Studio Time over here. This is just another example of a very well designed and at some sense of initial scale marketplace that is built using ShareTribe. So we'll jump back over to the guide, and those are two ShareTribe marketplace examples. Now the next one we're going to cover is Dwellito. So Dwellito it's a marketplace for modular and prefab homes. This is a Webflow-based marketplace. The other tools that it uses for integrations are Parabola, Airtable, Zapier, and Google Sheets. This is a really great example. I definitely like prefabs and to design myself, so a big fan of their marketplace. If you notice, if you go down though, so something to just kind of point out here is how lean it is to operate, or how lean of a marketplace it is. So their monthly costs are around $100 to operate their marketplace, which is pretty incredible. So we'll check it out right here. So we're on a listing right here. I already kind of like clicked through. You can see a listing for one of their prefab homes here, but it's very well designed. We'll just kind of go back to their homepage in a second so that way you can see it, what it looks like. So once again, this is a Webflow-based marketplace that uses quite a bit of customizations. I do want to mention too, if you've seen the previous parts of these videos, then you know that this is primarily a B2C or B2B marketplace. And that's because Webflow is going to be ideal for that, and that it doesn't have a lot of the backend functionality that, say, for instance, like a ShareTribe, like a Studio Time or the Shoot would have, since those are primarily, P2P marketplaces and have a lot of, direct kind of like user functionality. So this isn't, because of course the marketplace itself is kind of an intermediary, amongst both sides. So that's another example of a no-code marketplace that's at some sense of initial scale. Now, the last one is going to be Unicorn Factory. So you might have heard of Unicorn Factory. The founder, Connor, he's shared quite a bit in the past about how he built and launched it using Webflow and then the tool stack here of Parabola, Airtable, Zapier, MemberStack, and JetBoost. But this is definitely a probably a little bit more popular no-code marketplace, and a very well-designed one at that too. So we'll just screen share. You can see it right here. So I'm kind of on another listing right here. We'll just go back to their homepage. So you can see the homepage for Unicorn Factory. So this is very well designed. It has a pretty cool, like the images kind of rotate through. But it is a marketplace for hiring freelancers. And these are very specific freelancers, have, domain expertise in these specific areas. And then it's based, they do constrain themselves to location as they're focused on New Zealand area right now. So you can see right here, we'll just click on Tim Archer. So that, once again, that was kind of the listing I was showing earlier, but here's a user, profile or a listing. So this is very well designed. And another note on this too, since this is a Webflow based marketplace, and as I kind of mentioned in Duolito's case, it's not a peer-to-peer marketplace, that connects directly, as there is some sense of kind of like managed marketplace component to this, where when you request to book this person, the marketplace kind of serves as an intermediary in that. So, how do they make this possible? As far as, their tool stack, they use the integrations, once again, right here as, Parabola, Airtable, Flow the records, and kind of like, basically that's kind of like their backend database, Zapier for kind of like a lot of different task automation, and then also to member stack, since they have subscription functionality. So, so is right here. So just a kind of quick summary on that is that Connor wasn't no code. But he's actually shared quite a bit about this in the past. But he was, he in the early days, basically invested a lot of time in understanding some of the different capabilities of a lot of these tools, which of course the results speak for themselves, and that, he's definitely been able to leverage a lot of these tools in ways that, produce a very slick marketplace, and probably one of the best examples of, a services marketplace that's built using no code, on Webflow. So you might be wondering about how much does it cost to run, a marketplace like Unicorn Factory. So he provided a cost breakdown right here. But this is another example of a very lean marketplace. So it looks like it's, a couple $100 a month at most. Of course, they have some like transaction fees right here that they paid to MemberStack. This is a very lean marketplace, and a really great example. So, I wanted to include, once again, this is part 7, and we're on page 29 of the guide, but I wanted to include this section where I had the chance to speak with other marketplace founders. Just here's some kind of insights from, the operational side of these marketplaces. And because, that's not shared a lot out there, but hopefully you found this helpful, and I'll continue on the next video for this part of the series.